Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Fast Lane, Podcast for Success. I'm your host, Derek Lane. Thank you for being with me tonight. We've explored a lot of topics. We've explored a lot of things, but really we're just scratching the surface. For those of you that follow me, thank you so much. For those of you that subscribe, thank you so much. There's a real benefit in the Podcast for Success, and that is learning how to be a better person, how to develop your life. Sometimes people think that just listening to certain authors, speakers, lecturers, it is the fast track to success and wealth. It's not one single episode that's going to get you there. It's the overall message. There's so many messages. You take a little bit away from every one of them that makes you successful. You take a little bit from each author, each speaker, each lecturer that gives you your uniqueness. You see, I'm not you and you're not me. Even the greatest motivators, speakers, from the Zig Ziglars to the Jim Rohns of the world, they can't make you rich, but they can implant the seed of creativity, the seed of greatness with ideas, the things that we look for, that keeps us moving forward as human beings. And it's a wonderful thing. It's absolutely a wonderful thing. I've got tapes, old wore-out tapes, cassette tapes from 20 years ago that I still listen to. And it's amazing to me because I can listen to these things and go, yeah, I've heard it a million times. God knows I've played it in my old cassette player in my car and just hinged on every word, and moved on to the next author and the next lecture, to garner new information. And it's great stuff. And occasionally I go back and I just pick out one of these things, like it's an old classic rock album. It's my Frampton Comes Alive. It's my REO Speedwagon. It's the old classics, and you go, yeah, I want to hear that again. And you hear it, and you hear something new, right? I mean, it's awesome. You hear something new that you go, wow, okay. And it's not that it's new. Nobody, it's not the Mandela effect, but it's that you've grown as a human being. Your spirituality, your consciousness has grown, and some of the things that were explained in some of these old these tapes, you get, you go, oh, yeah, exactly. Now I get that. So sometimes if you're like me, I'm a motivational junkie. Absolutely, motivational junkie. And I'm not ashamed of it. One bit. I love it. I love, because, the messages, any positive message that I can get and live my life, and I think it's definitely, I know that it's definitely helped me in my life to listen to, great people. I've literally hundreds of tapes and the old cassettes, and they've yellowed over time, along with the books that I read, and a few videos that I keep in my collection. And it's a collection. When you think about your library, in my studio here, the Fast Lane Studios, I have it's literally, it's in, my library is my studio. Okay. The point being is the books that I have, and a lot of people think, your library is your books. But my library is much more than just books. Again, it's the old audio tapes, the CD tapes. And I'll drag them out and listen to them, and I just, again, it's a lot of fun. But I don't want to go too far for that. I want, tonight's message, excuse me, tonight's message is going to be about, giving back to your community, giving back to other people, helping other people. You see, you can't grow, you can't develop success without helping others. One of the biggest oversights that people have in their pursuit of success and wealth, they tend to surround everything around themselves, being self-centered. It's all about me, my growth, my pattern. It's me. I'm achieving. I'm going to do, they can talk about, I'm doing it for my family, I'm doing it for, this and that. But it's really about me. I'm going to show off. I'm going to be the richest person. I'm going to have more than my friends, my colleagues, my peers. It's okay. It's okay to be challenging. To challenge yourself. You can't win without setting a bar. And if you want to win against your friends, okay, whatever. I'm just going to remind you should be doing it for yourself. And if you do it for yourself, then you start to appreciate things that other people don't have. When you reach out to other folks and you help guide folks in the right direction, people that are less fortunate, maybe not as educated, you have a special talent. If you're listening to this podcast right now because you want to become better, you want to be the best you can be, well, helping others is the finest way I know to be better, to gain the things that you want in life. I don't think it's even possible to get where you want to go unless you help other people. It's just, it doesn't register with me. And you say, well, what am I supposed to do? Go out to a soup kitchen and work on a Sunday? Well, hey, not a bad idea, but if you can't do that, do something. Lend your talents in some manner. I'll share with you a quick story. Today, as a matter of fact, someone that is somewhat close to me came to me and discussed their financial concern. Maybe I'm not making enough. Maybe I'm getting by. What advice do you have for me? Well, I started talking about the laws of money, the spirituality of money, what money really means. Money is really just numbers. It's not that tangible. It's really not. Yeah, you have folding money. It's in my wallet, but really, most of us have. We have debit cards. We have check cards, and credit cards, whatever. And it's just a series of numbers floating to and fro. So understand that your real money is numbers, and the numbers is the spiritual realm that I'll get into that later. But I was explaining to him that the importance of passive income. You get to a point where you develop passive income. You get to a point where you take your disposable income. I've talked about that in the Money Diet podcast. You take your disposable income and you turn it into an investment. Your investment works for you. See, the way to become wealthy is to make sure that your money makes money. If the only way you're making money is by laboring and toiling, that's all you're going to do. You're going to continue to do that for the rest of your life. I'm not denigrating laboring. It's a very important aspect of your character to make sure that you're willing to do it. But you have to, you have to labor. You got to work hard. I work hard. I mean, I don't. And there's, if someone tells you that by working hard you're inferior, BS. Okay, working hard develops character. However, you got to balance that. And that was the point I was making. You got to balance the working hard with the idea that your investment will take care of you. It's the fruits of your labor. By working hard, you deserve to earn interest on the labor that you put in. Does that make sense? You follow me? When you work hard, why don't you get a residual from that? I work my butt off. 12 hours a day, sweating, whatever. Well, if it's a one-time shot, hey, I got paid for that. Tomorrow I got to work my butt off again. No, work hard, but understand there should be a residual for the income that you make. Well, you take the income that you make, you take your disposable income, you put it into an investment tool, however it is. We'll get into different investments later. This show's not about investments. It's about the idea of helping others. And that's what I was doing. I was helping another person understand the value of money and how to achieve the success that they felt like they were lacking. And, they say, well, I feel like I'm starting over. Hey, everybody does from time to time. I couldn't tell you how many times I've had to start over, so to speak. Start from scratch. So, you're not alone. You're not alone out there, with money woes, money concerns, and whatever you're doing in life. It's okay. Just know that there is an avenue. There's a path. But my true point is that, I took time out of what I was doing to reassure, my young apprentice, if you will, that there's always a path. There's always a path, even in the darkest hour. Even when things seem bleak, there's always a path. Your spirituality, your faith in a higher power. These are things that lead you to a higher power, to a path of wealth. The recognition of things around you. Take advantage of it. Know that when you put something in your sights, your acknowledgement of something, when you devise a plan. If you're just wishing and hoping, it's topsy-turvy. You're not really, if you don't have a plan, that's just it. You don't know where you're gonna be, and people take advantage of you. But when you have a plan, people can't take advantage of you. When you have a plan, it's up to you to make the moves, and when you educate yourself, you understand, the laws of wealth and money, or even just remotely understand them is a beginning. It's up to you, each and every one of you. And again, I will tell you that, whoever